Hello guys, welcome to this video. My name is Anirudh and today in this JavaScript tutorial, I will show you how to create pagination using custom JavaScript code. Here I have written the custom JavaScript code and I will explain how you can do that. So guys, I hope you will be enjoyed this video, and if you find this video is helpful, so please like this video, and if you want to get more updates, so please subscribe my channel, and if you find this video is helpful, so please share this video with your friends and others also who is required this thing. Okay, so now I will move to the Visual Studio Code Editor. So guys, here you can see I have opened Visual Studio Code Editor, and inside this Visual Studio Code Editor, here I have opened index.html file. If you don't have Visual Studio Code Editor, either you can install or you can use any other editor. And inside this index.html file, I have added the basic HTML structure. That is very simple thing. Okay, this one used for the media query, but in this purpose here it is not required, but I have added, and this is the external CSS link. Okay, and this one the title. Okay, this is a very simple thing. And now guys, first of all, here I have to create the list means contents where you want to add the pagination. Okay, so here first of all I will write UL tag. Okay, and inside this UL tag I will add some li tags, and I will add the content. Content means here I will add number only 1 2 like this way, but in your case it will be the contents. And one thing I want to clear, like instead of li ul tag you can use div tag as well. Okay, so now here I will just add some more content, like 1, here I will add 2, like this way I will add up to 50 contents. Okay, and now here I will add inside this ul tag I will add one id, and the id name I will write here pagination list. Okay, by the way, those id name, class name, whatever I will add here, you can use as per your choice. Okay, that is not a mandatory thing. Here just you can say this is the list. Okay, so that's why I have written the related name like pagination list, but if you want to add any name you can do that. Okay, and now guys, here I will just add those list up to 51 times, and again I want to clear those are the contents. Okay, here for the showing purpose I am adding numbers. Okay, so guys, here you can see I have added 51 contents, or you can say it 51 list items. Okay, so now just I will minimize this thing, and you have to do the same. By the way, contents it will be as per your project. Okay, but for the showing purpose here I have added 51. Again I explain, because sometimes you just be confused and you write in the comment or in my Insta ID. Okay, so that's why everything I want to clear in this video. And now guys, here we know in the pagination there is some numbers like 1 2, and when we click the numbers, so that time page changed. Okay, and there are also the buttons like preview and the next, previous and the next button. Okay, not preview, sorry. And so here I will write div class pagination container. Okay, and now inside this pagination container class, here I will create one preview button. So here I will write button type is button, and I will add one class that is pagination button. Okay, and I will add one id is previous button. Okay, and now if I show here, so save, and here if I refresh, so you can see first of all the lists what I have added up to 51. Okay, and here is the buttons. You can see, I don't know you can see here or not, because it is not properly visible, because I haven't added any button name. Okay, so button name I have to add the previous arrow icon. So here you can use font or some any other icon packages, or you can use the code. Okay, so the code I will write here and lt. Okay, this is the code. So now if I save and if I come here, so here you can see the button with previous arrow icon. So same way I will create the next button. Okay, so here the class name I will keep it the same, but id name, you know, id name should be unique. So here I will write the id name is next button, because this will be the next button. And icon I have to change also, because icon I have to write the next arrow icon. So I saved and now refresh. So here you can see it is coming like this. Okay, so this one is done. So inside this preview and the next button here should be the page number buttons also, like here. So first of all, suppose I want to display, now by default it is just displaying the 51 contents, but pagination means first of all I want to display the limited content, okay, like suppose 10 contents, okay, and when we'll click the next button or the page number, so that time it will display the next contents, okay, next 10 contents. Again, when I will click the page number or next button, so that time it will display the next. So this way pagination works. Okay, so the button number I have to add here. So that's why here I will add another ID, not a class, actually ID. Okay, and the button number I will create dynamically. Okay, so here I will write the ID name is pagination numbers. Okay, this one is done, and now I will come to the main part, which is functionality part. Okay, so when we write JavaScript or jQuery code, so that time we need to add the script tag, and inside the script tag we write our JavaScript or jQuery code, and here I will write the custom JavaScript code. So now first of all, where li is the variable name, and the variable name you can write as per your choice as well. Okay, so this inside this li tag here you can see I have some li tags, okay, that I have to assign. Okay, so first of all I will take the id, because here I have taken id because those li tag it can be other places also in a same page. So if I write only li tag, so it will take the other li tag also, but I need the li tag only inside this UL. So that's why I have taken the parent id name is pagination list. Okay, so here I will write document dot get element by id. Okay, and id is this one, and now based on this id I will write get element by tag name. Okay, and the tag name is li, right? Because here you can see first of all I have taken this id, means now if I write tag name li, means it will be only inside this UL tag. Okay, I hope it is clear. So this way you have to write. Okay, this is done, and now where pagination number. Okay, this one also variable, so this thing you can also use as per your choice, I mean this variable name. And now document dot get element by id, and id here this one. Okay, this one, this is done, and now here I will take another variable. So where the variable name I will write display. Okay, and the display is 10, because here now you can see by default 51 contents or list item it is displaying, but in at a time I want to display 10 numbers or 5 numbers, so that one will denote this variable. Okay, and here I have added 10, means at a time it will display only the 10. Okay, this is clear, and now here I will write another variable, that name is count. This one I will explain later. This one I will use for the functionality purpose. Okay, I will explain it later. Okay, now here I will write another variable, that is button num count. Okay, button count equals to, so inside these pagination numbers I have to add the buttons, I mean like page button. Okay, like 1 2 3 4 like this, but how I will get how many buttons I have need to add here. Okay, so that's why here you can see I have added li. Okay, so here if I write li dot length, so li dot length means what I will get. So if I show here, those are the li, so length means up to that, means I will get 51. If I console li dot length, means I will get 51. Okay, and at a time I want to display only 10 number, means this variable. Okay, so here if I write display like this, so what I will get, li dot, suppose li is 50, okay, 50 divide 10, because display is 10 means I will get 5, means I need 5 button, okay. And here I have 51 li tag, not 50, I have 51, means when I will divide li dot length divide display means 10, so I will get 5.1. let's see here in the console, it will be more clear, okay. So console dot log, if I write button count, okay, and here if I remove, I mean just comment the last li tag, okay, and if I refresh and open the inspect, let's see what I will get here. So guys, here you can see I am getting 5 because 50 divide 10 is 5, but here if I comment out this list means 51, right? So 51 divide 10 means it will be the 5.1, right? So if I refresh this one, you can see it is 5.1. okay. So here what I have to do, I have to make it the round figure, like 5.1 means it will take the nearby thing, that is 6, okay. So here what I will do, just I will cut this from here and I will write the default method math dot cell, okay, and inside this method I will paste this thing, okay. So now if I check this thing, you can see it is coming 6, okay, and why 6 is required, let's see. So first of all, it will display 10 list, okay, or 10 contents, means it will be the first page, okay. Now from 11 to 20 it is 10, okay, means it will be the second page, okay, like this way. 21 to 30 it will be the third page, and 31 to 40 it will be the fourth page, and 41 to 50 it will be the fifth page, and for the 51 it will be the sixth page, okay. So here I am getting the sixth number, means sixth button I required to display here, okay. So now I got how many buttons I need to display, but now I have to display the button, okay, I mean I have to append the buttons, okay. So what I will do, just now I will just remove this console, and here I will write the for loop for let I equals to 0, okay, and I will be less than this button count. So less than button count means button count I am getting 6, less than means it will be 5, but I need up to 6, means I have to display 6 buttons, right. So I will write less than equals to, and here I will write I plus plus, okay, I will be increased 1 by 1, means from it will start to 0 and it will increase 1 by 1, means it will be 1 2 like this way, and it will go up to less than equals to button count, means up to 6, okay. Now I have to create one button, so here I will write where button, okay, equals to, this one is the variable name, so this variable name you can write anything, and here I will write document dot create element, okay. So document dot create element is button. If you write here div section anything, so it will create the element div section like this, but I have to create button element, so I have written button, okay, and I have to add the button name, like here if I show here, so this button name is previous arrow and this button name is next arrow. So here I have to write the button name is page number, like first it will display 1 to 10, so it will be the first page, like first I mean 1, second it will display 11 to 20, means it will be the second page, means I have to write the button name is 2 like this way, okay. So here I will write button dot inner HTML equals to I. Why I? Because I is starting from 0 and it will go up to 6, right. So here that's why each button it will comes from 0, I mean it will comes from 0 and up to 6, so that's why I have written I here, okay. And at the end here I have to append those button here, okay, in this ID, and this ID I have added here and inside this variable. So I will copy this variable name and now here I will paste dot append child. This one is the default method of JavaScript, and here I have to append this button. Okay, save, and now if I refresh, so here you can see it is displaying those button. Okay, means when but one thing you can see here, it is coming from 0, but when it will display from 1 to 10 number, it should not be 0, because 0 is, it's not denoting any page number, it should be denotes the first page, right? Means this one. So I should not be start from 0, I have to write here, right? So save and refresh. So here you can see now I is starting from 0, means button name is I is starting from 1, means button name is 1, means when it will display first page, here this button should be active. When you will click the third one or second one, suppose second one, means it will display from 11 to 20 number page, like this way. Okay, this one is done, and now I have to write the functionality for next and previous button. Okay, so here two ways you can write. Here you can write on click, like this way, on click, and the function name is, this is preview button, you can write the function name is preview, like this way you can write. Otherwise you can write by dynamically. Okay, and I will do the same, means dynamical. So here I have taken one ID, so I will copy this ID name. Okay, and here just I will write document dot get element by ID. First of all, I have to capture this ID. So ID name is previous button. Okay, dot add event listener. Okay, so event listener is what event I want to add, that is click event. Okay, and the function name is, I have to add the function name is preview, by the way, sorry, previous. By the way, this function name you can write anything. Okay, this is function name, so you can write anything, but here you have to write the click, because when I will click the button, so that time I want to perform something, right? So I have to write the click event. And one thing you have to remember, that is when we write here, so that time we write on click, but when we write here dynamically using add event listener, so that time we need to write only click event. Okay, so same way I have to add it for the next button. So here ID is next button, so I will copy this, and instead of preview I will write next, and the function name you have to write related, so I will write here next button. This one is done. Here now one thing I will show you, that is, suppose when it will display the content from this, okay, mean this one, so that time second page will active, and if I click the first one, so again it will display this one. But when it will display by default first page, so that time there is no previous content, right? So that time what I have to do, just this previous button, first of all I have to make it disable, right? Because when it will display 1 to 10, so that time no previous content, means I cannot click the previous button, I have to make it disable. Okay, so here what I will write, just here I will write document dot get element by ID. Okay, so document dot get element by ID, and the ID is previous button. So I will copy this thing. Okay, and here now I will make it disable. So I have to add one attribute, and the attribute name is disable. Okay, and this attribute should be true, right? So now here, so guys, this button is not disable, okay, but I have written disable. So why it is not disable? So if I show here in the console, first just check this button. Okay, I will inspect this button. Here you can see it's not added disable attribute. Okay, and I'm getting one error. The error is, you can see preview is not, previous is not defined, means I have added two functions, previous and the next, but it is not defined. Okay, so if I comment out this thing, comment this thing, and now if I refresh, so no error and the button is disabled. Okay, so now I will just keep it comment. When I will use those functionality, so I will remove this comment. Okay, so now it is done, and now here I will create one function. Okay, the function name is main. Okay, and here first of all I have to display only 10 numbers. Okay, and others number, I mean other content or list, you can say, should be display none, right? So here I will take one parameter page num, and now here inside this function here I will write one variable. So where next page. Okay, so next page means first it will display up 10, next page means 11 to 20, right? So what I'll do in the next page here, display, right? This display. So I'll copy and paste display into page number, this one. Okay, so I think if you are not getting what is page number, okay, when I will write the next code, so that time you can easily understand what is page number. Okay, so just now understand this display means 10 and next page means by default it will display up to 10 and next page means here like this. Okay, so here display 10 into page number, this one is done, and now here I will write display previous page, one variable. Okay, and here I will write display, okay, display into page num minus 1. Okay, so now what is the meaning? Okay, so display into page num, suppose if I write page num, I mean suppose now just I have assign one, I mean define one function, but I did not call. So when I will call this function here main, so I have passed one parameter page num 1, right? So means here I have to pass the parameter value page num. So if I pass here 1, means page num is denoting 1. So when I will next page variable means display means 10, here you can see 10. Okay, 10 into 1 means it is 1, sorry, it is 10, right? And display previous page, so display 10 into page num, this is 1 minus 1 means 1 minus 1 means 0. So display means 10, so 10 into 0 means it will be 0. Okay, so when I will click the first page, so it will be 0, but when I will click the next button or next page means it will be 1. It is denoting right like this way. Okay, again maybe it is some confusing thing, but it will be clear when I will just come to the next code all again. So let I equals to 0, again I have to write one for loop. Okay, and I less than li dot length. Okay, li dot length means you know it is 51, right? Up to 51, this li dot length. Okay, now I plus plus. So now first of all what I will do, first of all just I have to make it all the things this height. Okay, means display none. So this li I means here you can see I will go up to li dot length, means style dot display equals to none. Okay, so now if we save and refresh, so you can see here all the list items are hidden, right? Because I have written none, but I have to display first time 10 contents or 10 list items. So how can I do that? So here I have to write one if condition, right? So if condition, what it will be? So I means it will start from 0. So when I will be less than next page means when I will be less than 10, because I already explained the calculation. This one display means 10 and page num I have added 1. So 10 into 1 means 10. Okay, so when I will be less than 10 and I will be greater than equals to previous page, right? Means previous page means 0, because display 10 page num 1 minus 1 0. So 10 into 0 means 0. So when I will be equal to 0 or more than 0, but it will be less than 10. So that time it will display the list item, means it will display the 10 items, because this condition, if you understand this condition, you can easily get it, like the list item will display the 10 item, right? Again I am explaining, I will less than 10, but it will be more than 0, means it's denoting from 0 to 10, right? More than 0 but less than 10 means it is denoting only 0 to 10 item, right? So now if I write li dot tile dot display equals to block, means it will display the 10 items. Save, see, it is displaying the 10 items, means when it will display the 10 item, so that time this first button should be active, right? So in the next code I will do the same thing. So that's why here just below this one, okay, so here I will write where, okay, where, and I will write another variable. So the variable name is button numbers, okay, button numbers. So inside this variable here, see, I have taken this id here, right? Okay, so and the buttons means those buttons, and those buttons are appending here. So I will take this variable, okay, so this variable dot get element by tag name, get element by tag name, okay, so tag name, and the tag name is, if I show by console or inspect, it will be easy to understand, right? So here you can see this pagination number, and here the tag name is button, and now I want to get those tags, means button tags, okay, so get element by tag name, then button, okay. So now just I have assigned this button tag here, and now first of all here I have to add the click event, right? When, because now it is displaying first contents, okay, first page content, but when I will click button from here, so it should be display the next content, like second button means second contents, okay. So I have to add the click event for the buttons also. So here I have to write for loop, okay, let I equals to 0, okay, and now I will be less than this button numbers, means this variable, and now I plus plus, and after that here I have to write button numbers I dot add event listener, okay, add event listener, and the event listener is click event. In earlier I have added, here you can see, okay. So here I haven't added the for loop, because here previous button and next button only one, you can see, but those buttons is 6 here, okay, it is 6 buttons. So that's why I have written for loop here, okay, and click, and now the function name I have to write. So I will write the related function name like button click, but if you want to add different name, you can do that, okay. So now this one is done, and I will copy this button click function, just I will paste here, but first of all I have to write function and then button click, okay. Now if I write here alert, so when I will click the button, you can see one alert will display, like it is not displaying, maybe any error, I did something wrong. So guys, here the wrong is here button numbers, okay, this one I have to make it length, okay. So I will go up to button number dot length, okay. So now I will do save and refresh. So here you can see one alert is coming when I will click the button, okay. So means button click event is done, but I have to write the functionality, okay. But before that, here when it will display the first page, so I have to make it active the first button, okay. So here what I will do, just here this button number. Okay, so here I will paste this button number. Okay, this button number, this one array, because here there is the 6 buttons. Okay, those are the array actually. Okay, and from this array I have to make it active the first button. First button means array index start from 0. Okay, if you don't have any idea about array, you can write in the comment section. I already made a video about array, so I will just share the link, you can watch that particular video. Okay, so when we just add the class or tag, so those are actually array, like those buttons are the tag name. Here I have assigned, you can see the tag name. Tag name means it is actually array, so that's why I have written the for loop also, because when we display the array, so we write the loop. You can write for loop, for each loop, anything, but I have written for loop. So those are actually array. So from this array I need the first one. First one means 0. Array start from 0. Okay, so here I can write 0, but what I will do, just here you can see here I have written count. Count is 1. So count minus 1 means it will be 0, right? So I will write here count minus 1 means it is 0, right? Because count I have assigned 1, so 1 minus 1 0. So here this one I will write now class list dot add. So here I will add one class that is called active, and I already have written some CSS inside this active class. So now if I save and refresh, so you can see it is coming one active class in the first button. See here it is coming active class in the first button, but if I write here only count means 1, so it will be active on the second button, right? I hope it is clear. So this one is done. Okay, now I will add the code for button click. Okay, so here just I will remove this one alert. Okay, so now here button click. So here I will write first of all, when I will click any button, so first of all it will active the first one. So when I will click any other button, so I have to remove the active class from here, and which button I will click, I have to add the active class in the same button, right? So first of all I have to remove the active class from here when I will click the button. So here just I will copy this thing. Okay, so from here I have to remove only, not add. Before I added, but when I will click the button, so I have to remove, because if I click 4th number button, so it should be removed from here, this active class, and active class should be added in the 4th number button, right? So this thing, like save, and if I refresh, so now if I click here, so you can see it is removed, but not adding, because adding code I haven't written here, right? So now I will write the active class adding code in the later, but first of all I will write this. This means what? Here this button click function, it's denoting the buttons, right? So this, if I write this, means it will denote the button. So first of all I will just console, okay, console dot log this one. Okay, I will print this one. So let's see what I will get in the console. So I will open the console, okay, and refresh. So if I click this button, so you can see I'm getting button 2. If I click the button 4, I'm getting the button 4. Okay, so now I need the this keyword. So here I will write one condition, if, okay, and if, inside this if, here I will write this dot inner HTML. Okay, so this dot inner HTML double equals button count. Okay, so when this dot inner HTML means those text, right? If I print here only inner HTML, this dot inner HTML, so you will see I will get the number, okay, button number, like console dot log this dot inner HTML. And now let's see, so refresh, and in the console if I click second, so I'm getting the 2 number, 3 number, right? So inner HTML. So when the inner HTML will be same button count. Button count means which one? If I see, so here, so button count means this one, length minus display, means length is 50 or 51. So when 51 divide display, I was getting 6 here for math.cell. So when it will be number 6, okay, means button count equals to button count, means when this dot inner HTML is button 6. So that time I want to do something, okay, means when I will click the 6 button, okay, so that time document dot get element by id, okay, so document dot get element by id, and the id name is next button, okay, next button means this one, this next button. If I show in the preview, this next button, right, means when I will click the 6 number button, so that time it will display the last content, and when it will be the last content, so there is no other content, means next button should be disabled, right. So that code I am writing here, next button, and here I will write set attribute, and set attribute is disabled and comma true, okay, and the preview button, I mean sorry, previous button should be enable, right. When I will come here, so that time previous content I will get, like when I will be the 6 button, I mean 6 button will be active, so 51 number list will be display, and so that time I can click the number 1, number 2 buttons, right, because it will display the previous content. But when I will be the 6 button, so there is no other next content, right. So next button should be disabled, but previous button should be enable, right. So here I will change the id name is previous, and this one should be false, right. So now let's see, so refresh. So if I click 6 button, so see here this one is now disabled, okay. Just I will copy this one id, and here I already paste, okay. So just for the confirmation thing I paste again, okay, and now here I will write the another if condition. So else if, so else if means when this dot inner HTML, okay, so this dot inner HTML equals to 1, means when I will click the first button, so that time next button should be enable, but when it will be the first button means the first content, so there is no other previous content, so previous button should be disabled, okay. So here I will copy the same thing, paste here, and here this next button should be enable. So here I will write here next button, sorry, this one not set attribute, here I have to write remove attribute, okay. So remove attribute, and I have to remove the disable thing. I will just explain it once because I forgot to write the remove attribute, okay. So now when I will click the 6 number button, so there is no next content, so in the next button I will add disable, but previous button it is already disabled, okay, it's already disabled, so I have to enable this one, so I have to remove this disable attribute, so that I have written here. So now here if I click the 6 number button, so see it is disable next button, but previous button is enable, again I will show. So now it is by default disabled, but if I click 6, so it is enable and it is disable, right. Same way when I will click the first button, okay, means this first button, so that time previous button should be disabled, and from the next button this disable attribute should be removed, right. So previous button disable, I have to make it true, okay. So because previous button need to disable, but from the next button I have to remove attribute disable, okay. It is done, and now I will refresh. So if I click 6 button, it is enable and next button disable, but if I click 1, so see the opposite thing, right, okay. And here I have to write the else condition also in the else part. Here in the else part, from each button I have to remove disable, means when if I will click the second button, right. So when I will click the second, third, fourth, 5 button, so that means the previous content also be there and the next content also be there, like 2, 3, 4, 5. So that time first content will be there and the last content will be there. So when I will click the other thing, so that time from each button should be remove disable attribute. So I will copy means I will remove from disable attribute from previous button. I will copy this thing, I mean I will remove from disable attribute from next button. Okay, now I will refresh and see when I will click the 6 button, so it is, you can see, but when I will click the other button like from 2 to 5, so you can see all buttons are enabled, right? It is done. Okay, so now here I need to active. Okay, now I will come to the active part, like when first of all it is active the first button, but when I will click the fourth button it is active is removed, but fourth button it is not active yet. So I have to write the code for this one. Okay, so I will write count equals to this dot inner HTML, means in the count variable I'm storing this dot inner HTML, means what button I will click, so that number I'm storing in the count. Okay, so now this is done. So here I will write main and now count. Okay, so main, this one count, and here I have to write this dot class list dot at active, means which button I will click, so that button will be active, right? And this main dot count functionality, why I have written, because in the main function here you can see I have written the code for displaying block and displaying none. So that's why when I will click the button, so that time the same main function should be called here, right? So that's why I have written this count and this main function. Okay, so now if I refresh, so here you can see if I click the second button, see second content is displaying and active class added in the second. If I click the sixth button, so only the last content is displaying and the next button is disable and previous button is enable. So it is done, but now I have to write the functionality for this previous and next button, but it is simple thing. Okay, so first of all this one is done, and now I have to just comment out those things. Okay, and now I will copy the previous function first. Okay, so just here I will write function previous. Okay, and I will copy the next also, so I will copy the next, so I will write function next. Okay, so this one done. Now I will write this code. Okay, so first document dot get element by id, and id is previous button. Okay, so previous button, when I will click, in by default see previous button is disabled, so when I will click the next button, so next content should be enable. Okay, I mean previous content, when I will click the next button means next button, so it will be active, this second one, and previous button should be enable, right? So that thing I am going to do here. So I am going to remove attribute disable from previous button. Okay, and now here I will write one if condition. So if count, okay, so count here not equals to button count. Okay, count means 1, because by default I will show you here 1. So count not equals to button count. Button count means which one? If I show the length. Okay, so when I will click the next button, but until it is not going up to the length, okay, means count it is not up to the 6. So that time here I will do something. So here I will write button numbers, okay, and then count minus 1 dot class list dot remove, okay, active class, and here I will write count class list at active class. Okay, and here I will write count plus plus. So now I will explain what I have written here. Okay, so when until count is not going up to button count, count is 1, okay, by default 1. So when I will click the next button until it is not coming to the 6, means button count means 6, right? So until it is not coming to the 6, so that time count will be plus plus. When it will be 6 means here, so that time there is no other condition, so count should not be plus, right? So that's why I have written this condition, okay. And here I have written the another two things like count minus 1. So when it is here, okay, when I will click the next button, so count will be 2, right? So that's why I have written next one will be active, means when I will click the next button, so the next means 2 1 will be active, but the before one means 1, this one should be remove active class. So that's why count minus 1. When I will click the next button, so count is first 1, so 1 plus plus means 2. So when click the next button, count will be 2, so 2 will be active, but the before one means 2 minus 1 means 1 will be removed. I mean this active class should be removed from here, it will be active from active here, right? So that condition I have written here. So save and refresh. So see here, if I click, so see this second button is active, but it is removed from here, okay, but content is not changed. So I have to write the same this for the content. So for the content here I have to call this main function, because content changing I have written in the main function. So that's why main, and here I will write count, I mean I will pass the value of count, okay. This is done, but here I have to write the another condition, that is if. So I will do it later, first I will show you, okay. So now it is done. If I refresh, so see content is also changing, okay, just a minute. See content is changing, but when it is coming to the 6 one, so next button should be disabled. So that condition I have to write here, okay. So if count double equals to button count, okay, means when it will come to the 6, so that time from the next I mean in the next button disable should be enable, right? So here just I will copy this one, okay, any of one I will copy and I will paste here. So next button disable should be enable, so I will write here next, okay. So now let's see, so refresh, so see content is also changing and active class also adding, and here see when it is 6, next button is disable and previous button is enable. So now I have to write the functionality for previous button, okay. So it is same thing, it will be the same thing, but just I will shuffle. So here first of all in the previous button when I will click, so button numbers, okay, so button numbers and count minus 1, okay, this one should be class list dot remove active, okay. And here I have to add button numbers, okay, dot count minus 2 dot class list dot add active, okay. Let's understand this thing, okay. Count minus 1 should be removed, means when here it will be here, so that time count should be whatever it will be removed, means count minus 1, okay. And count minus 2 when I will click the previous button, so this one, so count minus 1 means this one will be removed, and count minus 2 means this one should be enabled. So that thing I have written here, okay. So this one done. Now here I will just write document dot get element by id, okay. So document dot get element by id next button. So when suppose now it is disabled, when I will click the previous button, so that time it will come here and next content will be also will be there, so it should be enable next button. So next button remove attribute disable, okay, this one is done, okay. Now let's see, you can see active class is coming, but it is content is not changing. Okay, so here I have to write if count not equals to 1. So when count it's not coming 1, so that time count minus minus. Okay, so count minus minus, because once count will become here, so that time there is no previous content, so count should not be minus. So until not coming 1, count minus minus. Okay, and if count 1, okay, so that time previous button should be disabled. Okay, so here because when it will come here, so previous button should be disabled. So here previous button set attribute disable is true. Okay, this one is done, and for the next previous function I have to change the content. So I will call, so now refresh, see content is also changing and it is disabled when it is the first page. Okay, so guys, this way you can create a pagination, and this solution I have created. But if you know the any other solution, you can write in the comment section, or you can send me your code in my Insta ID. Okay, so I hope guys you have enjoyed this video. If you find this video is helpful, so guys please like this video. Okay, and all the code I will provide in my description. Okay, and if you want to get more update, so please subscribe my channel.